What's up everybody? So just before we get today's video started, I did want to invite you to download the app Bump, where I will be selling a bunch of my own personal things like Vans, some vintage pieces, some Fear of God, and some Supreme. So be sure to hit the link in the description to download the app. If you don't know what Bump is, it's essentially an app that allows us to list some of our favorite things, namely streetwear, whether new or used, gathered around this idea of community. Now, if you guys have been following the channel for a minute now, you know I am a huge advocate for community. I love this app because it is seriously seamless to get in communication and like follow each other. I know that there's a bunch of other YouTubers on the platform as well, namely Kais Omar, Ari Petro, and Rishi Lee, to name a few. And yeah, overall, using the app is absolutely seamless. You could literally go to the home screen, click a couple buttons to filter exactly what you're looking for, and presto, the entire site is broken down and kind of simplified to exactly what you're looking for. I've already kind of been browsing the app and I've seen a ton of really sick things. Obviously the off-white Nikes are there, Yeezys, tons and tons of Yeezys, Supreme. You essentially name it in streetwear, and I think the app is probably most likely gonna have it. The fun actually does not stop there, my friends, because with this app, you can literally find proxies, which I think is so cool. I've never heard of this being done before, but on the app, there's this feature where you can find proxies to help you purchase some of the most hype releases. So as you guys know, Supreme Fall Winter 18 is right around the corner. And I don't know about you, but for me personally, I could definitely use some help with copying these releases. Anyways, guys, be sure to hit the link in the description to download the Bump app. Honestly, guys, it's such a sick app. And be sure to follow me as well, because I will be listing things throughout the course of at least this month. I have a ton of stuff to get rid of, things I don't wear. Like I have this vintage Seattle Supersonics hat that's made of corduroy, super sick. I know a lot of you guys are asking about it. And then I have this vintage Coca-Cola tee from 1993. I will be listing both of these, as well as some Supreme, some Fear of God, of course. With all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into today's video. What's up everybody, and thank you so much for stopping by the channel once again from us over here at Locust&WildHoney. So as you probably read in the title of today's video, we are gonna be going over how I distress my denim. Now I know there's like a ton of different denim tutorials out there on YouTube, but you guys reached out to me time and time again after I posted this picture here. And honestly, it's really crazy how many DMs I had in the first initial hour of me posting that picture. But it's actually crazy how many people are like reminding me of making the video. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. We're gonna be doing a denim distressing tutorial. And now there's no right way to do this. This is just my way of doing it. So that's that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into today's video. So first things first, if you're gonna be distressing a pair of denim, you're gonna need a pair of denim. So this specific pair here was gifted to me from Minimal LA. I already asked permission and they said that I could make this video and I could use their denim to distress on, so shout out to Minimal for that. If you guys decide that you want this specific pair, I'll try and find a link and put it in the description, and make sure to use my code Paul10 at checkout to get an extra 10% off your purchase. But as you can see here, this is just a really simple pair of denim, no zippers, no distressing, no nothing, just a sand wash, and I really do like this wash a lot. So once you've got your denim in front of you, you're gonna need some tools to work with. So the first thing you want is something to mark with. Now my first choice would actually be maybe some chalk or something that, you know, can be washed off, but all I have is this marker. Second thing you're gonna need is a pair of scissors. Now I'm gonna be using these like fabric scissors. I got them with like this sewing kit that I have. But you can just use any scissor. It doesn't have to be these ones. I find that the smaller ones though allow you to be a little bit more dynamic with cutting and stuff like that, so that's definitely helpful, but definitely not needed. Now I'm gonna be using this nail file. This is kind of ridiculous, but you know, with a nail file, it's really rough and you use it to like kind of shape your nails. But what I use this for is to just kind of rub it against the denim to kind of loosen the threads and kind of have it look like it's been, you know, like slid on with your knees or whatever. So it definitely adds a dimension of it looking like it's less manufactured and more like actually, you know, worked into. So I don't necessarily suggest using this. This is all I have at the moment and what I've been using for quite some time. But if you can get some sandpaper, that would be your absolute best bet. You don't need anything too rough with regard to sandpaper, but you know, just some nice sandpaper or even some grip tape would definitely work as well. This next tool I found in the sewing kit that I have. I actually have no idea what it's called. I'll try and zoom in so you guys can kind of see what it is. Maybe you guys can tell me. But it essentially is great for like poking and prodding and loosening the fabric and being able to get the threads out. So I kind of just use it for that. I don't know what exactly it's used for, but that's what I use it for. What I do know is that you can purchase a really awesome device. I think it was called a seam terror, and I purchased it at Target. I was using that for quite a long time, but I lost it because it's so small. So definitely check one of those out. If you don't and you have one of these weird things, then you use this instead. And that's essentially it. That's all you need. Nothing too crazy. I think all in all, if you were just to go get this stuff over at Target or like say Michael's or something like that, it might run you about $5, so it's not too bad. So now that we have our denim, the first thing you wanna do is put the denim on. I kind of decide where I want the holes to be in approximation. Now for this specific pair, obviously, as I already stated, I do want them to be on my knee region. Now when marking the denim, I don't do a square or a circle just because that to me looks a little bit too manufactured. I personally like to do this shape that almost resembles a teardrop. It's more like a parabola or two parabolas, one being upside down with a very small slope. Hopefully that kind of makes sense, and seeing the visual kind of helps out as well, but it's not a perfect circle, nor is it a square. Now to get the cut started, I essentially just poke a hole where I made the mark, and I just start following the line that I made. It's very important that you're very meticulous and very clean about cutting this. Just cut really slowly, follow the lines, and always remember that less is always more, because at the end of the day, you can always adjust and cut more. But if you cut too much, then you're out of luck and that denim has gone to waste. Okay, so now that we have our holes in the denim, it is finally time to start distressing. Now, I did want to let you guys know that this part can be very tedious. The easy part's done. This part's not much harder, but it's just very time consuming. You need to be very, I don't know, focused and kind of zone in, because this is a very boring thing to do. Listen to music, watch TV while you do this, because it is boring. Now that that's out of the way, we can go ahead and start. So what I actually did, it's actually the next day, I actually did one side already to kind of show you what the finished product looks like. Now, like I said, it's never really finished per se. You're gonna keep wearing them, they're gonna get more and more distressed, and you might wanna like go back to the drawing board and continue to distress, but I feel like this is good enough job, this is passable. So when distressing, generally what I like to do to get started is to start out with like my sharp tool. Generally you can use like a seam ripper or something like that. And what I'll do is just kind of go into the fabric from the top. Oh, and also I actually have a towel inside where the hole is, so like it doesn't make as big of a mess. And also when I'm using like the sandpaper stuff and let's say I kind of miss a little bit, it doesn't affect the back of the denim. So that's something to take into account. But what I do is I just kind of take the sharp object and just start kind of poking at the edge here. And so what that will do is result in, I don't know, like the fabric just kind of coming apart a little bit, just kind of being delicate with it and kind of precise, because you don't want to go too high and result in like, you know, damaging the entire garment, if you will. So yeah, I kind of just kind of poke and kind of prod and like just pick at it a little bit just to kind of get the loosening of the fabric started. So once you have enough loose threads around your hole here, what you're gonna wanna do is take your rough utensil or your rough tool. For some people that might be sandpaper, for others it might be just something really rough. And then you're just gonna start to kind of work it against the fabric here. And you're just rubbing it along the edge of the hole where the threads are and stuff. And that's actually gonna bring out a lot of cotton. I'll go ahead and show you in my hand here. Okay, so this last part isn't exactly necessary, but for those of you who are a bit more meticulous and want to really go above and beyond, here is a pair of tweezers, and something that I generally don't do too much, but I did do for my Fear of God pair when I wanted to expand it a little bit, is what you do is you turn the denim inside out. So as you can see here, you can actually see the direction in which the weave is going. And that is actually very useful, because we're able to nitpick and pick and poke at exactly which threads we want gone and which ones we want to be pulled out, to be exposed. Now again, this is very meticulous stuff, and to be honest with you, I find it highly unnecessary. But if you really want to do a good job at it, you're gonna get yourself some tweezers, and you're just gonna take it to the denim and pick those pieces one by one. And as ridiculous as it sounds, it will end up looking very, very good. And in this case specifically, sometimes, I mean, with the denim that I did do, I didn't do this method on this pair. As you can see, it's not quite as long. The shards aren't as long, or the pieces of thread aren't as long. You can actually do that with using the tweezer method. Okay guys, so that is my method of how I distress denim. Now, again, there's no right way to do this. This is just my way of doing it. And hopefully you found it somewhat helpful to yourself. I'm gonna continue working on this pair, and I will show you the final product in just a second. But if you found this video at least somewhat helpful, please consider hitting the thumbs up button, as it does go such a long way for us YouTubers. As always, comment down below, and I would definitely love to see what you guys do with your denim at home. So make sure you tag me on Instagram and all the good stuff. I'd be happy to post in my stories some of your guys' projects. So it will definitely be really cool. But anyways, I'm gonna get back to work on this pair and show you the final product in just a second.